The science of yoga is a systematic technique for helping us develop our personality at the physical level, mental level, intellectual level, and spiritual level. This science encompasses varieties of activities, varieties of thoughts. How do you look at this world is an aspect of yoga. How do you look at yourself is an aspect of yoga. How do you look at others? How do you perceive the work that you do, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat? All this is related to yoga. But what does this have to do with joy? We are gathered in this time slot to discuss yoga for joyous living. Ultimately, life is all about joy. In every activity, we are seeking joy. Why did you come to the Dallas Yoga Fest? Swamiji, I thought I will learn a few things. Why did you wish to learn a few things? That would increase my inner joy. And why did you come to the Dallas Yoga Fest? I thought I will teach what I know to the others. But why do you wish to teach what you know? That will increase my sense of inner satisfaction, my sense of inner joy. We all want joy. Are you experiencing joy right now sitting here? You know, in pretense you can say, yes, Swamiji. But if I carry on speaking for the next 5 hours, what's going to happen? I have to get up. You were sitting for joy, what happened? The joy has dried up, Swamiji. Getting up is giving me more joy. Doing an activity when the joy dries up, we wish to do the reverse activity, but the goal remains the same. We all have different desires, different aspirations, different inclinations, but the root of it all is that we wish to be happy. Sarvesham api bhutanam nripasvatmaiva vallabha. Somebody believes that getting the Cadillac will give joy. Somebody believes that going for a cruise will give joy. Somebody believes that serving the poor and needy will give joy. Everybody has their own concept of where joy lies. But the aspiration of all of us is the same. Otherwise, we are different in every way. We all have different facial appearances. We have different voices. That is why somebody calls you on the phone and says, hello, how are you? Without seeing you recognize who that person is. In fact, we have different bodily aromas. The dog recognizes by the aroma. Yesterday I was in somebody's house in New Jersey. The dog came, barked a little, and then went to the side. I said, does he remember me? So the lady said, he remembers your smell. Last year when you came, he kept that smell in his file. And everybody has got a different smell, so he remembers. We have got different fingerprints. Our biometrics are different. That is the kind of variety that exists in creation. No two leaves of a tree are alike. And yet, in this matter of seeking joy, we are all one. Nobody taught us to seek joy. Otherwise, we were instructed so many things. From the time we went to preschool till the time we passed out of college, We were told this is the way to do it, this is not the way to do it, this is right, that is wrong. But nobody taught us that you must seek joy in your life. It should not come about that you start running after misery. This instruction was never given. It is intrinsic to our very being. It is a part of our soul existence. And the first expression of our yearning for joy took place when we were born. What did we do when we were born? We cried. And why did we cry? Because in the process of birth, we experienced pain. By crying, we expressed ourselves. I have not come into this world for misery. I have come for joy. Give me happiness. Give me happiness. And from that point on till today, 20 years, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, at every moment we have been seeking happiness. What is the reason for this? Why this yearning for joy within all of us? The fact is that we are all connected to the one source. We have all emanated from that one source, which is referred to in different ways and different names, in different traditions of the world, as God, as Allah, as Yahweh, Bhagavan, Ram, Sham, Om, Ikomkar, Shunya, Ahura Mazda, Alakh Niranjan. People have given different names to that one source. The Vedas inform the nature of that source is Anand or bliss. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. The source of all creation is an infinite ocean of divine bliss. Anandeva adhastat anando parishtat ananda parastat ananda paschat anandottaratah anando dakshinatah ananda eve dagvam sarvam. That divine entity which has bliss above, bliss below, bliss inside, bliss outside, bliss to the left, bliss to the right, bliss everywhere, that ocean of bliss is the ultimate reality. You can call him by any name. Some people would say there is bliss in God. However, the Vedas are saying that divine entity itself is bliss. You cannot separate bliss from him. Just like there is an Indian sweet called Rasgulla. Has anybody eaten rasgullas, the Westerners? It has got two aspects to it. One is the round cheese ball called gulla, and the other is the sugar syrup called ras. The gulla by itself is dry, and the ras is the nectar. When you immerse the gulla in the nectar, it assimilates the nectar within itself and becomes rasgulla. The Indians' mouths are already watering. So it has the gulla which is dry and the ras which is sweet. If we say bliss is separate from the divine, that means the divine is devoid of bliss. It is a blissless entity. However, the Vedas inform us that the divine itself is of the nature of bliss. In other words, bliss is synonymous with it. But what does that have to do with us? It explains why we all seek bliss. We are all fragments of that ocean of bliss. Like you have a drop which is a fragment of the ocean. The qualities of the ocean are also in the drop. The same H2O, the same NaCl. In the same way, we are all tiny fragments of that ocean of bliss. And every fragment is naturally pulled to its source. That is how Newton discovered the law of gravitation. When the apple fell on his head, now apples always fall, they don't rise. But Newton was the first to start thinking, why did the apple fall? And he realized that the earth is pulling it. The apple is a part of the earth. The earth pulls everything that's a part of it through the force of gravitation. Whatever is a part is drawn to the source in the same way as the rivers are drawn to the ocean. Because the rivers are a part of the ocean. It's from the ocean that the water vapor arose and gathered into clouds. The clouds crossed over from the Gulf of Mexico. They went past Houston until after little more than 100 miles, they reached Dallas and started pouring down as rain. The rain is gathered into little rivulets. The rivulets merge into a stream and the stream merges into the river. Where is the river flowing? Back to the ocean. How long will it flow? Until it reaches the ocean. In other words, the river is a part of the ocean and it's drawn to its source. Similarly, we are all parts of the ocean of infinite bliss. Once again, no matter what name you call it, it's the ocean of infinite bliss of whom we are all parts. And we experience the pull in terms of the urge for joy. Until that urge is satiated, until we become truly blissful, we will never be contented. We will keep striving. Something within us will tell us we have still not become as we wish to become. We have still not reached where we wish to reach. We have still not done what we wish to do. And so the search continues. A great philosopher of America, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said, what is this sense of want? This universal discontent. It is nothing but the fine innuendo by which our soul is taking its enormous claim. The soul, which is a part of the ocean of bliss, is taking its claim. Give me that bliss which will truly satisfy me. And that kind of bliss we have not achieved as yet. But you may dispute that point, Swamiji. I went to the Las Vegas and I went to so many other thrilling places. How do you say I have not achieved bliss as yet? You see, the Vedas define the nature of bliss as Sat, Chit and Anand. Bliss must be such that it must be infinite in extent. Your soul will not be satisfied by finite bliss. Let us say you chased the great American dream and became a millionaire by the age of 40. You're a millionaire? Yes. Are you happy? Only for a moment. Then I spot the billionaire. This guy has got his private plane. I'm envious. Until I become a billionaire, I cannot be happy. So, no matter what happiness we get, if we find somebody relishing greater joy our joy dries up once again. That is why the Vedas inform us, Yo vai bhuma tat sukham, such anand which is infinite in extent. And there must be a second attribute to it. It must be eternal bliss. If it comes and then goes, it leaves us high and dry. I had a wonderful day yesterday. What happened? I went to see that match of the Dallas Mavericks. I really enjoyed myself, and then after that, coming back, we stopped in this shop and we had a ball here, and it was the best day of my life. What happened today? Today I was unwell, I was at home, the air conditioning had conked off, the TV was not working, I was just getting bored. You mean yesterday's bliss went off today? So it did. That kind of bliss will never fulfill you. You want such bliss, which if once attained, will always remain. And it should be ever fresh. That is the Sat Chit Anand, the infinite bliss of the Supreme. We are all on a journey to that Supreme. So after our striving, after our endeavor, we still find ourselves blissless. Is there a problem here? The problem is that we have forgotten ourselves. Who are we? We see ourselves as this body made of matter. That is a very gross understanding. It is like a driver sitting in the car and you mistake the car to be the driver. In the same way, if we think I am this body, then if somebody has an amputation, that person should change because the body has changed. But intuitively we realize we still remain the same. We are far more, far deeper, far higher than this body. The problem is we have forgotten that divine spiritual identity